Go. Hey everyone, I'm live. I'm live. I've got an hour to kind of spend and hang out, an hour to kill. And so I'm going to do a live stream. So I don't mean to treat you like I'm, wasting an hour or killing an hour, but that is the reality here. I'm wearing my mask because that's just the right thing to do. And I'm here in a Starbucks in Tucson. I did a live stream here a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we'll see how this goes. I just got a little time, and my laptop battery has probably about an hour, but that's it. And then even my phone, I need to charge my phone here. So, how is everyone? How's everyone doing? Hello to the one person watching. I made 2 not too shabbies today. I kind of forced myself because yesterday I didn't make any not too shabbies, and I needed a break. So today I forced myself. I just had to be on the lookout, and I got this Arizona flag. The Arizona flag is a really pretty flag. It's an Arizona flag. Not too shabby. More on the subdued side, okay? And then here at the Starbucks, I went inside, and there's no seating. So this sign here, it just kind of speaks for itself. This table is temporarily closed. Not too shabby. Here you go. So, anyway, right now in Tucson, you won't believe it. It's 68 degrees now. I'm sitting in the shade facing like the north side of a Starbucks. It doesn't feel 68 here. So I actually put my hoodie on. It felt more like 54. So, but officially it's 68 in Tucson. In my town of Westcliff, it's 37. So there you go, 31 degree advantage. How about that? So how is everyone doing? So we got the entrance is right there, so I'm a little self-conscious. People are walking in and out, There's people walking in, so then I get all okay. Anyway, so I've been going for 3 minutes, and I really will just try to kill this hour. So got my can of pineapple chunks. I got my decaf pour over coffee. Very attractive cup. See my name, Steve, right there. Not too shabby. 4 people watching. How is everyone? How's everyone doing? So, I rebumped with my Not Too Shabby playlist. I did rebump my Black Lives Matter Not Too Shabby. And then you can't be on the right side of God and the wrong side of racism. Not Too Shabby. Just want to remind people, racism is wrong. Racism is evil. Racism hurts people. It harms people. So we need to be vigilant about, especially in the white community, my fellow white friends, my white community. Hold on a second. These people. Actually, maybe they need to hear it too. There's another person. No, that we in the white community are really careful about that we're not complicit or there's a lot to say about racism. And I know how white people are. I know how I was raised. I know the culture I grew up in. And I know how white people can kind of delude themselves into thinking, oh, there's no such thing as racism. There's no such thing as injustice or systemic racism. Now, I'm done with that. Black Lives Matter. Black lives are important. Black lives are precious. And we need to love the Black community and those other people, you know, those other groups that are, you know, different from us, whether they're brown-skinned people, Muslims, Mexicans, the Black community, all those groups that we're kind of trained to be afraid of, you know, ooh, their interests are against our interests, you know. No more of that. No more of that. So I'm totally against racism, and I'm going to speak out against it. Black Lives Matter. And again, if you call yourself religious, if you call yourself a Christian, you know racism is a sin. And I really would challenge you, you know, to repent, to say, hey, you know what? I was wrong. I need to change my heart. God, give me a new heart here, you know. And then to some extent, and then actually, I want to also say that complicity, being silent about racism, isn't good enough. Just being a nice person who's not a racist, but not being openly anti-racist, that's not good enough. We need to be speaking out. When there's evil, when there's injustice, we can't just sit on the sidelines and say, oh, I'm worried about, you know, rocking the boat, or I'm worried about what my friends are going to say, or, you know, I'm afraid my racist friends are going to start arguing with me. No, none of that. We have to speak out on this issue. So, yeah. So anyway, I just bumped up. Hey, Ryan, it's good to see you in here. I just bumped up my Black Lives Matter shirt, and you can't be on the right side of God and the wrong side of racism. Not too shabby. So they're just back up there. So I just want to remind people of that. You know, I really want to challenge you too. If the term Black Lives Matter, if that bothers you, if that really upsets you or gets you mad, if there's any part of you where that really bothers you, I would humbly and gently challenge you. There's racism in your heart somewhere. There's something, whether it's white supremacy, white, you know, us whites are more important, hatred. I don't know what it is, but there's a spirit of racism in there. I challenge you. Black Lives Matter. And we say Black Lives Matter because we know in the white community, Black people don't matter as much as us whites. We don't care that much. Some Black person gets killed, or, you know, if there's some issue of police brutality, you know, and a Black person gets killed unjustly, you know, we just, you know, we shrug our shoulders. We say, well, the Black person probably deserved it. You know, no more of that. And by the way, I'm not anti-police. I love the police. I love law enforcement. I'm totally against crime and criminals, you know. But at the same time, we have to at least acknowledge that there's a bias, you know, that we in the white community have a bias, an inherent bias towards people of color, those others, and definitely the Black community. And of course, it's going to reflect sometimes in our policing, the way we police people. I'm just tired of story after story of Black people being shot right away, or just some wild video of injustice where I'm like, whoa, that doesn't look right. And we white people, we know in our hearts, if the police treated us the way sometimes they treat Black people, you know, we would be screaming and shouting. We would be going to the authorities, town hall, city hall, saying, this must stop. So we need to have that same attitude towards injustice towards the Black community. So anyway, I mean, that's just one example of systemic racism that comes out. Probably it's in policing. So, and then there's all sorts of ways. So even just voting rights, or don't even get me going. Anyway, hey, Ryan, thanks for letting me go on a rant. Black Lives Matter. So I just went on a little rant for about 5 or 6 minutes. And then the other thing, too, I'll just challenge you on, if you're still listening, this bothers you, my talk about Black dignity and Black lives, Are you at least open to hearing another person's perspective on this? Are you at least willing to hear the cries, to listen to the stories of suffering of the Black community, and not just about police brutality and that issue, but just racism in general? What is it like to be Black in America? See, because that's the heart of racism is I don't care about you. I don't care about your suffering. You know, to just deny that there's any problem at all. You know what I mean? It's a very prideful, like, oh, here we go again. These Black people. Oh my gosh, they're complaining. I challenge you. That's the heart of racism, is to not even care. I dare say, once you at least get to the point of saying, all right, I'm going to listen to these people. I'm going to put myself in their shoes. You know what I mean? As a white person, I'm going to pretend I'm brown. Would my life be different? That's the heart of change and transformation. Your life is going to change, you know? So anyway, I'm going on a huge ranting here. And then I do want to just reiterate, we talk about this because racism harms people. It's evil. It's wrong. And not just in some abstract way. It harms people. So, hey, Zach. Yeah, no, Zach. Yeah, you know. And Zach, by the way, I'm not perfect. I mean, I know what it's like to go. I went decades. I could tell you, there's so much to tell you. I've even thought about writing a book about this, but I know how I told myself for many years. I just told myself, yeah, there's probably some racism. I get it. But at the same time, you know I'm a good person. I treat people well. You know, I don't discriminate against people. I don't use the N-word. I'm not a member of the KKK. And you sort of, then I say to myself, okay, well, I'm not part of the problem. You know, what am I doing wrong? I remember living in Buena Vista, Colorado. And I kind of rationalized by saying, I live in this small town of about 3,000 people, 2,000, 3,000. There's like, almost everybody is white. Almost everybody in Buena Vista, Colorado. Okay, and I remember just thinking, here I am living just a little bit outside of town. I just go hiking in the mountains by myself, and I was doing my photography and videos. And I thought to myself, how am I part of this problem called racism? I mean, I don't even encounter any Black people. You know what I mean? All I had was just a few friends who, you know, Black friends that lived in Georgia, Tennessee. I got one friend named Daryl in Michigan. I got a friend named Kim in Mississippi. They're just on my phone. But day-to-day life, I have no interaction with Black people. So how can I be complicit? How am I? You know what? But I think we need to think about it more in terms of systemic issues. Just think about the fact that Black people did not have the right to vote 60 years ago. Think about the fact that 100 years ago, there was a systemic system in our society of intimidation of Black people, where there were lynchings, if Black people got out of line or spoke up too much. You could be lynched for just any reason. Slavery. But by the way, for those people who are like, oh, there's no such thing as systemic racism, how about when there was slavery for 250 years on this continent? Is that systemic racism? Will you at least admit that is systemic racism? Just that alone. How about that? Of course, that's systemic racism. It was evil. It was wrong. Really hurt people, destroyed people's lives. Just think about that for one damn second. Find it in your heart. Look, I don't want to be too mean or whatever, but to my white friends, anyone watching this, just think about that. Think about if your ancestors from 160 years ago, 200, 300 years ago, your ancestors were enslaved for generation after generation. They were treated pretty much like animals. Think about that. Think about the legacy and all the discrimination laws and redlining where, you know, Black people aren't allowed to live in white communities. And you're going to tell me there's no such thing as systemic racism? Come on. nonsense. So, by the way, I mean, I will say another thing too. The main way that racism shows up in our community today is just denying that there's any problems. That's the main way that white people express their racism, is just by saying, "Oh, there's no problem. There's no such thing as racism." That's the number one way. We roll our eyes and we say, "Oh my gosh, look at these black people. Look at these people marching or protesting. Here they go again." And then, of course, the hardcore racists, they just focus on the very small percentage that engage in whatever violence or, looting, and then they say, "Look at the whole movement. Look at them." And then we feel justified. Not only are we racist, but then we delude ourselves by saying, "Well, look at us. We're the ones in the right, and these people in the streets, in the cities. Oh my gosh, it's so awful. Law and order." So anyway, I'm done being silent. I'm done, I'm still speaking out. And by the way, thank you to the 5 people watching, Zach and Ryan. Thank you. Anyway, so I'm losing my train of thought, but I've spoken my piece. Black Lives Matter. Racism is wrong. And I absolutely challenge you to my friends, which is, the white community, we need to speak out. We need to stop denying that there's, no racism, that's not real, that there's no such thing as systemic racism, that there's no problem in our policing. We love our police. I call the police when I need them. I've worked with the police as a mental health therapist, lots of good stories, and I've had good experiences. But at the same time, we can also say, hey, maybe we should start thinking about reform a little bit, and maybe training our police system to say, take into account that there could be bias, that we might mistreat the black community sometimes. So, anyway, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Boy, that was a good ranting. All right. So Ryan and Zach, I'm done. Really, that was a good talk. And it's from my heart too. Okay. And, I get pretty mad about the topic. And, there's a lot more I could say. So, hey, Rodney. All right, everyone. What's your favorite Not Too Shabby? Tell me your favorite Not Too Shabby. I'm going to play it. I'm going to tell you the backstory. And I'm actually just going to type in Not Too Shabby. I'm going to type in Not Too Shabby on and just see what Not Too Shabbies come up. Let's see here. Holtville. Hey, Rodney. Holtville? Rodney, get out of here. You're in Holtville, California? Is that how you found me, through the Holtville Not Too Shabby? All right, I got a story. Holtville. That's actually an interesting town. I'm in Tucson. I'm a few, 4 hours east of you on Interstate 10. Rodney, all right, here's the backstory on this. It was 2017, February 2017. I was biking across America. I started in San Diego. I biked all the way to Florida. And on day 4, me and John at the time, we started in El Centro and we biked to Yuma, and we were going through Holtville. So here's the Not Too Shabby. Come on. I'm so impatient. Why isn't it playing? Come on.
Holtville, California. Elevation 13. Not too...
I think my connection.
Shabby.
Hold on, let me make sure I'm connected to the internet. Hey, Holtville is a cool town. Actually, the reason it didn't play is because I'm not connected to the Starbucks Wi-Fi. Holtville, there's that town square with a whole bunch of palm trees. Holtville looks like a nice little town. Yeah, yeah. All right, now I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. Let's play that again. Holtville, California.
Holtville, California. Elevation 13. Not too shabby.
Oh, yeah. So if you search for Holtville, California, does that come up? People are like, people are searching for that. They just think, what's this freaky video? What's this about? So, yeah, Rodney, I'm sure Holtville is a calm place. Rodney, what's the hottest it's ever been in Holtville? Do you know? What's the hottest? I'm just curious. 120 degrees. Dude, that is so crazy. I need to show up to Holtville or El Centro or whatever, Yuma, and do a not too shabby when it's 120 degrees. It's amazing. It's freaking brutal, is it? I mean, that's bordering on dangerous. That's definitely bordering on getting dangerous, So, Holtville. Hey, so Rodney, I just want to say I've biked across America 3 times. The first trip, I've gone through your area. The first trip I biked from San Diego, I went to Brawley. Then from Brawley, I went up to Blythe. The second trip, I biked on kind of like Interstate 10, Palm Springs to Blythe. And then on my third bike across America trip, I always start in far Southern California. I biked from San Diego to Julian and then El Centro. And then that fourth day, I went from El Centro to Holtville to Yuma. So I'm not sure Blythe is very fun. I would disagree with you on that, but that's just my opinion. So Holtville, that's really cool you found me. How long have you lived in Holtville? I'm just curious. Yeah, man. How long have you lived in Holtville? Just kind of curious. Testing. Come on, Starbucks Wi-Fi. Come on, Starbucks Wi-Fi. Are we on? Starbucks Wi-Fi. Are we on? Let's go, people. Rodney, you've lived in... Come on, Starbucks. Starbucks. I'm getting mad at the Starbucks Wi-Fi. I'm going to move a little bit closer to the window. I don't know if that's going to matter. That's cool. You've lived there your whole life. Holtville. There's a lot to talk about Holtville. Yeah, come on, Starbucks. Come on. Okay, internet. Zach, I'm going to play the one you suggested. This was an honor. So Funhouse was making a big deal about my Not Too Shabbies. It was such a great honor. And Lawrence, he called me a comedian. And it's just one of those things where deep down I've always wanted to be a comedian. But there's something about calling yourself a comedian that just doesn't feel right. It feels, I'll let other people decide if I'm a comedian or not. But when he called me it, I was like, wow, what a compliment. What a freaking compliment. Thank you. So here it is.
It's this Funhouse guy saying I'm an internet comedian. There's a gentleman, an internet comedian? Not too shabby.
He was like, internet comedian? Like maybe he wasn't sure if I was a comedian, but I'll still take it. That's close enough. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Hey, Rodney, I still want to bike across America a 4th time. Should I go through Holtville? What should I do? I was like thinking about maybe I'll go through Calexico. I got that whole thing about Imperial County. You know, Imperial County, California doesn't get a lot of love. gets a bad rap. You know, it's not really known for, I don't know, people don't go there for vacation much, or, you know, that Salton Sea is kind of an environmental hazard. And, you know, you know what I mean? But there's something about the desert. The desert in the most. That's the other problem too. Is wait, wait, I got my mask on. There's still people coming in and out. I'm trying to wear a mask. Personally, I wear a mask so that it's the right thing to do. But another ulterior motive is I don't want anyone to think I'm a Trump supporter. So I just wear my mask. It's a really good way to if you want people to not suspect you're a Trump supporter, put your mask on. You know, it smells like manure, does it? But the untouched desert out there with the creosote, and you got choyas, and you got some cactus out there, Imperial County. It's really pretty. The town of Ocotillo, which is west of El Centro. Then you can take the road from El Centro up to Scissors Crossing. Beautiful desert. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, so anyway. But then you do have those, yeah, and the dunes. The dunes ain't bad. You know, the dunes. I've been to El Centro, and that didn't really. El Centro, Brawley, just didn't do anything for me at all. The gas prices are pretty high in California. That's kind of rough. Really, Rodney? Get out of here. You run the water system for Ocotillo? Yeah, no, I remember biking through Ocotillo, and I was like, all right, I only got about 18 miles to El Centro. There was one bar, and there's one little, looked like a little motel kind of thing. And it's really beautiful. It's got the wind turbines. They're kind of pretty. So, but that, I don't know. It's not the prettiest. I in Tucson, that's the desert is so pretty with the saguaros and all that. All right, but it's still pretty out there in Imperial County. So it is beautiful. Yeah, man. Shell Canyon, yeah. Yeah, that's cool, Rodney. I'm glad you're proud of where you live. Holtville, that's really cool, man. All right, warning. I can't charge my my laptop, and it says it's going to die in about 10 minutes. So I'm kind of like, or I may have to go inside the Starbucks. I might go inside the Starbucks and just charge my laptop a little bit here. This is kind of an emergency because I still got another 30 minutes to kill. Yet at the same time, I got all this. You can't even see my table here, but I appreciate all of everyone's comments so far, especially about the Black Lives Matter stuff. You know. All right. Throw this in here. Stuff. You can't see what I'm doing here, but it's got all this crap. This little wedgie phone thing. Laptop. I gotta go inside because my laptop's gonna die. There's not an electrical outlet here, is there? So I want to stay close to the. I don't want to walk too far away here. Anyway, yeah, man, Rodney, that's cool. Seriously, the palm trees in Holtville. I love palm trees so much. I know I'm like a tourist, but I'm from Colorado where we don't have. I mean, it's the very opposite of the desert. It's just cold, wintry. Let me just go in here. I want to ask him if I can. I'm going to ask him because I don't want to break any rules about the pandemic, but I just want to plug in my laptop and stand here for 10 minutes. All the seating here is like closed. So I'm just going to ask him. I don't know why. Hey, I just got a question for you. Is it like with the pandemic or the tape, can I just plug in my laptop for like 10 minutes? Is that all right? And then stand? I mean, it's the spirit of it, I guess.
You can charge it, but like we can't have people like sitting at the tables. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
But like,
you're more than welcome to use the outlet.
okay. Okay. Yeah. Now I don't want to make sure I'm a team player. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. Just do it in the corner right here. So I'll just hide in the corner. Just want to make sure. So I'm here in the Starbucks. I am taking this pandemic seriously, and you should too. So this is like I think we just hit 300,000. We just hit 300,000, which is just so awful. And anyway, there's 3 people watching. Is Ryan there? Is Rodney? I don't even know who's here, but so I had by the way, this mask, I dropped my favorite mask. And I didn't realize it until I got back. I was like 20 miles away. I had a green mask, but I found this mask a few weeks ago and I just picked it up. It says Oro Valley, which is a suburb of Tucson. It was a little dirty. I washed it up. And so this is actually a good mask. So yeah, no, be careful. And like, Rodney, you're young, all right, I'm not going to get into lecturing people about the pandemic, but the problem with the pandemic is obviously there's been a lot of deaths. And then the other problem is our hospitals are overflowing. And that's the bigger issue. So, you know what I mean? And I don't want to get COVID. I'd be scared if I had significant symptoms. And then like my health insurance is okay, but I've got a high deductible. So if heaven forbid I got to get major care or something due to COVID. So, but anyway, there's lots of factors. So everyone just mask up, keep your distance, and don't be attending big gatherings where nobody's wearing masks. Don't be that way. Don't even get me going. So our president has been very disgraceful. He mocked people for wearing masks it was months and months. He downplayed it. He admitted he downplayed it. He acted like it wasn't that big of a deal. People died. What a disgrace. What a horrific human being that man is. I'm telling you, man. Donald Trump. I've spoken my piece. Some of my friends, I've got family members that I told them what I thought. And absolutely disgraceful. So, yeah, that's right. And then Trump got the absolute best care possible right away. That's right. He got socialized medicine. Donald Trump got socialized medicine. He didn't pay for anything. It's just such a joke. That's right. After mocking the public for dealing with it, he goes to the hospital. That's right. Well said, Rodney. Well said. So, anyway. So here I am. I shouldn't speak so loud in here. Just a couple people. I'm trusting they're not Trump supporters. They're not going to argue. So, but yeah, obviously, safe to say that Trump's a disgrace. So, Rodney, the main thing I've got is YouTube, and then I'm on Twitter. If you're into Twitter, Twitter is okay. I'm on Facebook a lot, but I mean, I'll be honest with you, Facebook's like, I'm not into making new Facebook friends. I just end up hating people on Facebook, to be honest. I think the best thing is just to hang out, just to, like being connected on YouTube. Here, I'm typing in my YouTube, my Twitter here. I just shared my Twitter address right there. Yeah, Rodney, I mean, I've spoken my piece, even on Facebook. I mean, the hard truth is I found out who my racist friends were on Facebook. I really did. I found out who of my friends were kind of awful people who don't take, mocking the pandemic, finding every reason to justify racism or making excuses or, lots of my friends. Look, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't expect my friends to be squeaky clean, but yeah, I was really disappointed. And I learned who loved Donald Trump's lying and who really just got excited about Donald Trump's cruelty and racism. And, Facebook really soured me. So, yeah, it is kind of true. People do share their true colors on social media. So, I don't know. I don't want to judge people too much, but I do draw the line at like racism or just being a decent person, be a decent person who would never vote for Donald Trump. Is that too much to ask? Is that really too much to ask? I don't care if you're a conservative or a liberal or this or that. You seriously could vote for a man like Donald Trump. Holy cow. With knowing how evil he is, knowing how cruel he is, knowing how corrupt he is. Holy cow. So, hey, Jennifer. Hey, Jen. I'm standing inside a Starbucks. How are you? How's everything going? So, I'm killing an hour. I have an hour to kill. And I've gone for 38 minutes. So, to recap, I went on about a 12 to 15 minute ranting about, how wrong racism is, Black Lives Matter. It was actually probably my best ranting ever. Then we were talking about Holtville, California. And then my laptop, I was sitting outside and my laptop was dying. So I had to come in here and to charge my laptop. And I actually asked them before, because I'm kind of like all the seating here, there's no seating allowed. Okay. And the sign says table temporarily closed. Okay. Just like that. So I can't be sitting here, but I went up there and I said, is it okay to just charge my phone or charge my laptop? And I'm standing here. And I was like, spirit of it, I'm just mushed in the corner here. So, yeah, Jennifer, how are things going? It was a rough day. I know this is a little superficial, but maybe you should go on my main page and watch my two newest Not Too Shabbies. Maybe that'll cheer you up. Yeah, Sam the King. Yeah, I'm in a coffee shop in Tucson. Here's my coffee cup. This is so lovely and pretty. Is that nice? Green. Wasn't there was a controversy about Starbucks and their Christmas cups or something? And I don't remember I don't even know who was upset or why. This is a lovely green. So, yeah. Sam the King. It's good to see you, man. How are you? How are you? So, Rodney, that's still really cool that you're from Holtville. I'm telling you, I got a thing for remote desert towns. I got a thing for. I spent a weekend in Ajo, Arizona. It's in southwestern Arizona. It's near Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument, and if they had just a semi decent motel option, I would stay there for at least a couple of weeks, but they don't. It's bothersome. That's a long story about that, the lodging there. So I don't do Airbnb anymore. I had one bad experience. So that's a long story. Yeah. Hey, Rodney, Slab City, is that one of those towns that's like around the Salton Sea? I think that's what you're talking about. I have not been to the Salton Sea. I have not actually driven around the whole lake. So I think that's Slab City. I've just seen videos of it. So found a crack pipe under a futon. Oh my gosh. That's I've heard. Okay, I saw a video once. I don't know if it's worth visiting Salton Sea. It just feels depressing to me. I just want to see the beautiful empty desert, kind of like west of Raleigh, northwest of Ocotillo. Yeah, and I saw pictures in the 1950s. The Salton Sea was a happening lake. Everybody brought their boats, and it was a resort town. How amazing is that, So, let me finish my coffee here. Slab City. It's kind of like a refuge. I think people live there. That's cool, man. That's cool, Rodney. And there's so many places to go. I want to go to California. I'm down here for the winter, and but I can go to California. The problem is with the pandemic, I think California might go on full-blown lockdown, and so I don't want to be there. And I don't know. I don't want to be there if that's the situation. So Arizona is my home in the winter. I am home. So, although I have a home in Colorado too. Yeah, they got art everywhere in the desert made out of junk. That's all right. I don't know. I gotta, maybe I'll check. Maybe I should check it out sometime. Maybe I'll check it out sometime. Let me put my mask back on. I'm pretty tight with if I'm in public, if I'm anywhere, I wear my mask. So I try to be responsible. So yeah, it's weird. So everything's in lockdown. It's just kind of interesting how that works. All right, you know what? Pretty soon I'm going to wrap things up. I appreciate everyone who watched. I do encourage you. I went on a solid 12, maybe it was 12, 14-minute lecture about racism, Black Lives Mattering, how we should care, how we really need to show that we care in the white community about the effects of racism, how it harms people. Go check it out. I'll put a link so you can hit the timestamp. You can go back to it. All right. Or I don't know. I'll put a timestamp for Holtville, California too. Yeah. Rodney, it was good to talk to you. Jennifer, you too. Sam the King. I know Ryan, you were in. Zach was in earlier. I appreciate it. I have just had some time to kill, and just thought I'd do it here in this empty Starbucks. Isn't that nice? Nice Starbucks. All right. Take care, everyone. So long. And really, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Okay. Bye-bye.